Welcome to this week's update for the 14th of June. Um, Day late, as normal. Still trying, though. Still trying actually my best, which is sad. This week has been high level cognition for the most part. And I've been thinking about structure and development and the work environment and trying to make sure that I'm investing the resources that I have at my disposal to good effect, which is difficult. A lot of times I'm working with my last fruits, and that's not great. Where it's the small bits of energy left after the end of a full work week or between other things, or not a lot of concentration left, not a lot of time because it's not structured into big chunks. But it's so hard to talk about these things without it coming off as big complaining session. It's like, oh, the product wasn't delivered on time again. I'm sorry. I am doing the best I can. It's a little sad. Sad for me, sad for everyone. One of the things I did do is I read this week, and I read about the Deming method for continuous improvement. And it's like 14 points, and they're based on manufacturing process. And it's interesting because it's in such stark contrast to how companies are run today. This is from the 1930s, so I guess it's like a century old. Uh, but it really changed the structure and environment at the time for working. And the reason I was interested in it is because one of the major points in it is to invest into research and development. Like, you want to maintain the quality of your production and the volume of your production too. But I was trying to figure out when is the correct time to invest your resources into research and development. And the answer from the Deming method, I guess, is all the time. There's a huge focus on making efficiency from the end stage all the way upstream, and research and development to alleviate issues. It's not keep going until something breaks. It's continuously looking for new areas for improvement, which I think is really interesting. I don't think it's how companies are run today. There's a lot of high volume, low quality, and thinking about maybe the end of the quarter, which is spooky. The Deming method assumes that your corporation is intended to last for tens of years in the future, and it's planned accordingly, and I just don't see that. In this context, research and development is going into writing the code or the software behind the tools that I use. So I'm not using store-bought, store-bought, commercially available, or even open source tools for some of the things I've been doing that haven't quite made it into videos yet, but have been in these update segments. Been doing them in house, and I'm happy with some of the results, but it's one of those things. Again, the information into graphical form, and then easy to communicate, and making sure that the information is correct. Anyway, it's something that didn't exist, and now I have locally, but it cost a lot of resources. This is a really big cognitive expense whenever I'm doing that, because it has just been escalating in terms of complexity. And I try to minimize complexity, but it creeps in regardless. And it started out with having one bespoke program and then having a second bespoke program and then having another one. And then that got too confusing. So I swapped to modules where it's going through with an orchestrator and going module to module to module. And that helps with the handoff problem because I was getting confused. It was, okay, which program is step 1, which is step 2, which is step 3, because I had a whole bunch of them and it was confusing. But with the orchestrators, you run into different problems, like change something and then suddenly nothing happens. That's not great. And that's inside baseball. But the upside is increased long-term efficiency, which I think is good, but boy, has the output of production suffered as a result, which is not great. Like to get more things out. I know that's every week. But I've been pruning some of the R&D. Nothing's ever canceled, but it's been moved down in terms of priorities significantly to try to focus on some more output for the channel. And Cat helped this week. So yeah, you see some of the notes that I had. When I make graphics, I gotta think about the way that the text and the images are structured, and I gotta draw it out, and I gotta think about everything in terms of pixels, and it gets a little difficult. But yeah, what's the vertical budget? What's the horizontal budget? And he continues to help. This is incomplete, but it's some of the stuff that I'm still working on. In terms of streams, there's definitely some big improvements that I can be making. I don't know if you can hear him in the background, but he is going bananas. Hot swap image selector is prototyped, but not quite there yet. And it's so that I can quickly pull up a card on stream. Image fetcher is a general utility because I'm going to need to, like, during a stream ahead of time, I'm going to need to take 50 images from the cards which have seen competitive success folder and then put them probably into a sequence, maybe put them into a PowerPoint and then swap between them. I haven't thought about it yet. But yeah, and the image fetcher also helps with some of the other things downstream, and we'll cut like 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes off of the production time for videos where I don't have to get the images. I can just input .txt with fuzzy select, and hopefully it can just pull them all over. That's the goal, but I haven't made it yet. I do know how to write a lowercase g. The cat hit me when I was writing the word chronology. The archetype analyzer is something that I gotta work on, but that's one of the pruned projects. Moved it from G0 to G1. So, and it's prerequisite for actually several things. Like if I wanted to do a meta breakdown, it'd probably be a pretty good idea to have the archetypes labeled in each deck. And I think there are some pitfalls with that, like Kashitra, Finrer, and Gale the Whirlwind, Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind are just really popular cards at different points in the game, and they're not playing the archetype that they belong to. So that's one of the interesting things. And like you get weird edge cases. The hero super archetype is definitely one where like you'll see elemental hero Stratos and Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. And then you don't know what heroes they're playing. You don't know if they're elemental heroes. You don't know if they're destiny heroes, evil heroes, vision heroes. And it supports all of them. Those two cards specifically. A lot of the other hero support doesn't do that, but those two do, which is great. It makes Stratos really splashable, and then you can play a Hero Lives and get it directly out of your deck. Costs half your life points, but doesn't cost your normal summon. Instant +1. Board presence. Pretty nice. And then you have lots of follow-up plays that can do things. But the archetype analyzer is prerequisite for some of the stuff in the future. Cat's helping. Cat's helping so much. There's just too much going on, and he just covers up some of the unnecessary information, and just perfect. Anyway, he's helping, and gonna be a shift. Gonna make sure I'm focusing on the G0 before the G1.